Learning to Read with Bruce. This is lesson number 7 in the series. There will be 21 lessons altogether at least. You notice I've got a different instrument today to start out with, and I picked out a very special song. It's one of my favorites, one of the best songs ever written, and it's a favorite of a lot of my friends and family. And besides that, the song contains one of our new units today. The unit is I am, which sounds like M. So with no further yakking, I'm going to go right into the song. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one. So there's Imagine by John Lennon. Now Jane's going to flip up the copy that I made, or if you just take that one off, with all the underlines and the circles to show you how many of these words you should be able to decode by yourself with the help of the Caldwell units and the Fry instant words. And if you look at this, just about every word has something that you can figure out with it. Now, of course, Imagine's kind of a weird word, because if we go with the silent E at the end giving you a long vowel sound, that would actually be Imagine, but it's not. It's Imagine. Actually, it's if we had the word G-I-N, gin, which is the drink, it's pronounced that way, but it is definitely an M word, and that's one of the reasons I picked it for today. So we have Imagine, of course, John's, and then there's an N in Lennon. All the circles are Caldwell units, and you can see there's quite a few of them throughout the song, and all the underlines are the instant words. So if you look at it, almost everything in there's a few words. Religion and peace don't have units, and they're not instant words, but almost the entire song. So you can see the power, again, of the instant words and the Caldwell units. All right? So let's do some brain exercises. And once again, I've got to face away from the camera. You can follow along at home, and you should be doing these every day as part of the program. 5 minutes or so for each exercise. We'll start with our lazy eights. And left hand out, big circle to the left, to the middle, to the right, to the middle. Counterclockwise and clockwise. Third time. I'm not going to do them for 3 to 5 minutes because that would take up most of the show. Just making sure you know how to do them. Right hand now, and to the right. Always back to the center, and clockwise, counterclockwise, clockwise again, and both hands together, to the middle, to the left, to the right. Left is counterclockwise, and right is clockwise. Okay? Now Jane's put up the units there. We need to back off a little bit because we're missing can and cent. If we can, let's see. Let me just back this thing up a little. Okay, there's the Caldwell units while I'm doing the cross crawl, the walking where you tap the opposite knee with the opposite hand. We'll just take a look through them. This is all 44. Oh, we're still missing one there, the T-I-O-N. Okay, there we go. There we've got them. And just kind of a sneak preview of what's to come, but there's no harm in you learning them early. So sooner the better. So here we go. Able, ack, ale, ain, ache. Could you point at them? I'll start again. Okay. Able, ack, ale, ain, ache, and, art, ation, a. Can and cent, they're not the bottom. They're the odd ones, okay? Next column. Ed, e, l, n, and, ent, s, est. The eyes. Ik, ite, ike, il, im, ing, ip, ish, ist. The O's have 10 of them just like the A's. O, och, oi, old, oo, or, ound, o, oi. And a couple more odd ones at the bottom, shun and shun. And there's just two U's, and And that's your 44 units. Okay. Now we're going to put up the page reviewing the previous units. That's the one that has the columns going across. That one right there. And if you could cover the most of it with the other page. If you give me 1 through 6 right now, it'll be good. Okay. Move it down a little bit. That's good. And then if you cover from 7 down with the back of a sheet of paper, that's good. Okay. That's good, thank you. Just up a little far. That's fine, that's fine. Okay. So we had lesson 1, the sounds of M and R, ale, and A, and where's is the. Lesson 2, we added the letter S, the blend sm, ake and ing were the units, our words were in and with. Lesson 3, we had the W or W sound. We put the S and the W together to get swa. Ent and ound, into, of, and to were your sight words. Lesson 4, we had the B, buh. Put the B with the R up here, and bruh, and and ick were the units, on and from were the words. Lesson 5, we had the letter P. We combined the P with the R for pr, the S with the P for spa, and the SPR for spra. We had the words the units ain and est, and the words were she and girl. Lesson 6 added the J, no blends that time. Ack and ill were your units, by and was your sight words. 7, which is our new lesson today, our new letter sound is H. We'll combine the H with the S for sh, favorite sound of teachers and parents, sh. We're adding our units and there's the M that I mentioned when I talked about the song Imagine. Our new words are I and said. And if you notice these whole words, what he calls whole words or sight words, they're, I think just about all of them are part of our first 100 instant words. So there's a lot of repetition there between the two programs, which is good, because the more you see of each word, the better the chance of getting it in your head. So there's our new units for today, and im. Notice if you put an H in front of each of them, you get her and him, the two pronouns. Okay? So we're going to go ahead now and look at Caldwell Lesson 7 in our book. And Jane's going to read while I point to the words. This is a good one. It's about a dog. Hick the bounding hound. Notice there's our H sound. Here's our ound and ing units. Ound unit again. H, there's our B sound. There's our sight word the. So hick the bounding hound. You're going to see hick has a tendency to get into trouble. Okay? If you could just kind of give them the picture, then you can scroll it up, move it up a little bit, and show them the words. We're at Jill's Flour Mill there. Okay. We're missing the edge there. Thank you. Okay. Okay.
Hick the hound bounds to the mill in the pounding rain.
There are no questions on that page, are there? Okay. Just like a dog. It's like he's shaking off on old Jill there.
Hick enters the mill. Hick bounds to Jill. The hound shakes by Jill. The rain sprays on her.
How did Hick get wet? Think back. He was in the rain. How did Jill get wet? She can thank Hick. There she is yelling at him. Poor Hick.
She says, I say, Hick the hound is the spraying pest. I will send him from the mill into the rain.
What does Jill want to do to Hick? Look back up. She wants to send him from the mill into the rain. Do you think Hick will obey her? Let's find out. Wow. We're changing characters here. Here's Jim and a sack of bran.
Jim is packing bran in sacks in the back of the mill. Jim packs the bran to the rim of the sacks.
So we don't know what's happening with Hick right now, do we? Let's find out maybe. Here we go. Like I said, Hick has a hard time. Got a whammo there. Looks like he collided with Jim. Looks like all the bran's falling out.
Hick said, I will shake rain on Jim. Hick bounds to the back of the mill. Hick was rounding the bend on the way to Jim. The hound sent the bran spilling from the sack.
Why did Hick run to the back of the mill? We look back at the very beginning of the page. Hick said, I will shake rain on Jim. So he's going to go cause some more trouble. He's quite a jokester, I guess. Hick's in trouble.
Jim wails, Hick the bounding hound is the spraying pest. Jill says, Hick packed the bran back in the sack.
Looks like he's trying to get it done.
Hick said, I will rake the bran back into the sack.
Do you think Hick can rake the bran into the sack? Maybe, maybe not. Let's find out. Looks like he got it done for him. I see smiles.
Hick is the best bran raker. Hick makes the mill shimmer. Jill says, Hick is the best spraying, bounding hound with the rake. Will Jill send Hick from the mill into the pounding rain?
Do you think Jill will send Hick out into the pouring rain now? Well, she said he's the best spraying, bounding hound, so it sounds like she's not mad at him anymore. She's probably not. Let's take a quick look at the more words on the next page there. As the series goes on, what Ed does, since he's got so many units and so many more sounds, can we move down? Is that the top of it? Okay. So he just adds some more words. These are words that weren't in the story, but these are words made by using the units or the letters or the blends. So we've got answer, answering, backers, bickering, brim, enter, entering, hail, hay, hays, hers, hills, miller. Here's a nice long one. There's an an and an ent, permanent, pickers, prayer, serpents, shakers, shimmering, shrill, simmer, swim, swimming, and wicker. Notice the words are getting longer now because we have more units that we can use, and so we can make bigger words. If you have children, you know all about bickering. Okay. All right, so now we're ready for our usual reading practice. We've done the lesson, and I'll just do it up here on the board. Jane will ask me the questions, and I'll write the answers. Is the light okay on the camera there, Jerry? We're not getting a glare or anything?
Yeah, we got big glare on the top.
On the top?
Yeah,
We'll move it.
right up about where the 12 is.
Okay, let's do this. Am I below it now?
Down a little bit.
Down a little further? About here?
That'd be good, yeah.
Okay. All right. Ready.
Spell her.
Okay. Our new units, oh, I should put the units up. Our new units were and M. We want her. So just add that H sound, which is letter H, and there we go.
Drop one letter and add one unit to spell enter.
Ent. We don't need the H anymore, so we're going to put the ent unit, which was one of our previous ones, and Enter.
Add one unit to spell entering.
Well, we've got enter. I just need to add my ing unit. Ing.
Spell him.
There's my M unit, and I want to add that H sound again. Him.
Add a letter to spell shim.
Shim. Add the S, and you're all set.
Add a letter and a unit to spell shimmer.
Well, I've got shim, and I need to add, here's where it gets a little tricky. We have to double the M and add our unit.
Spell shimmering.
I've already got shimmer, and I add the ing unit.
Spell sprayer.
Well, we had the new blends, spa and spra, and I think I want spra, S-P-R, and then our old A unit was one of the first ones we learned, and
Spell I.
So it's a sight word, and it's just, the word is, the letter is the sound, but it has to be capitalized.
Spell said.
Said, I always used to tell my kids it looks like say-id, if we do it with the southern accent, and there it is, said. Okay, so there's the first 10. I'm going to keep writing large. I'm going to go ahead and erase the, well, I can't erase these, can I? Because I need them for the other part, don't I? Yeah, I better. Are we good down here, Jerry?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, number 11.
Write the letter of the last sound in Jim.
Jim.
Write the letter of the last sound in Baker.
Baker. R.
Write the letter of the first sound in hound.
Hound. Huh. That's an H.
Write the letter of the first sound in Jack.
Jack. J. And Jack is actually a name, so we're going to capitalize the letter J.
Write the letter of the third sound in enter.
Enter. N, T. Third sound is T.
Write a word that rhymes with her.
Her. Oh, I can do enter from my list.
Write a word that rhymes with him.
Well, him, there's shim. They rhyme.
Write a word that rhymes with player.
Let's look through. I got enter, entering, shim, him, shim, shimmer, shimmering, player, sprayer. That's a better rhyme.
Write the letter of the final sound in shimmering.
Shimmering. G. G.
Write a two-syllable word from lesson 7.
Her, enter. There we are right there. There are more than that, but I just took the first one. You got shimmer, sprayer. Shimmering has 3. Okay. And Jane's going to read reading tip number 7.
Practice with your instant word lists every day. It takes only a few minutes to read through them. They will help you improve both your sight reading and fluency.
Okay, and if we could put up the instant words on the Elmo. I'll erase this mess. And we're just going to look at the last column today, 75 through 100, because this is our final time for the first 100 words. So, or if we can we cover up the other three there? Or actually, I'm just going to go through them quickly. You on it, Jerry? You
Yeah.
stay with me here. You have them pretty big on your camera. I can make them bigger up there.
I got it.
Okay. So, the, of, in, a, to, in, is, you, that, it, he, was, for, on, are, as, with, his, they, I, at, be, this, have, from. If you've been practicing, that shouldn't be any trouble for you to stay right with me there. Second column. Or, one, had, by, word, but, not, what, all were, we, when, your, can, said, their, use or use, and each, which, she, do, how, their, if. Third column. Will, up, other, about, out, many, then, them, these, so, some, her, would, make, like, him, into, time, has, look, two more, right, go, see. In the final column, notice some of them are getting a little longer now. Number, no, way, could, people, my, than, first, water, been, call, who, oil, now, find, long, down, day, did, get, come, made, may, part, and over. And so that list is over. Again, these lists and the lesson sheets are at the Elkins Randolph County Library. They're free if you want to stop by and get yourself a couple copies or a copy, and you can practice on your own at home. These lists are also available on the internet. You can go to, just Google the name Dr. Edward Fry Instant Word List, and you'll come up with all kinds of sites where they're printed. What I have noticed, though, is some people changed some of the words. I've seen the first 100 word list with many changes, especially in the last column. So for the most part, they're the same, but not always. Okay. And I'm also going to be taking to the library this week the word lists for the second and third 100 words. That'll be available at the library by Tuesday, no later than Tuesday. Okay. If we can put up the single lesson page now, we'll do a little unit searching. Scroll, let's make it a little bit bigger for everybody. Oops, wrong way. Okay, can you slide it down? Thank you. All right, so lesson 7. And again, if you get the lessons, then you can do this on your own. I'm not going to do the whole page, but here, as I told you, S is a unit. We haven't had it yet. We got hic has ick, bounding, ound, ing, ound, ick, ound, ill, ound, ing, ain, ick, ent, ill, ick, ound, ill, and so forth. Okay, one more line. Ound, ache, ill, ain, a, and And the reason I suggest doing this is just to help you make sure you really know the units automatically, that they sort of just jump out at you when you're reading something. Because then when you find an unfamiliar word, if it contains the units, then maybe you can figure out what that word is. That's the point of the Caldwell program. Okay? You can go ahead and pull that page off, please. And I'm going to just do a couple of the make a word things. We have our units and m. And again, you can go through your alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, per, Q, R, S. Sir is actually S-I-R. So there's not a whole lot for Let's try M. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, Jim is G-Y-M, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R. So, and you can do on your own just going through the alphabet. What you can also do is take your main Caldwell page and add some of those blends on the front of them, and that'll help you find other words too. Okay? So, let's get to the part of reviewing the song by writing it. If we can get the original song back up there, please. And I'm going to do something different today. While I'm doing the writing, and that's fine, I'm going to put some music on because this is a song that we're going to use later. Not the words, we're going to use the melody. It's a song by a famous Hawaiian singer named Israel Kamakawiwo Ole. They called him Iz. And he was, in recent history, he was the the all out and out favorite Hawaiian singer in the islands and around the world. You've probably heard his music on commercials. He does a cover of Over the Rainbow, which has been in many movies in the last 5 or 10 years. But this is his version of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. I'm going to put that on so you can start getting familiar with the melody while I practice writing and you practice writing at home. Oh, it's going to get louder, I think. Is that volume good? Okay. Good. Okay, we're going to fade his out there. We'll be playing that song each time for the next couple of lessons when we do the writing practice, because the melody is so beautiful. It's kind of an odd coincidence for me. When I started listening to the man's music, I called my brother who lives in Pittsburgh, and he's married to a woman who was born and raised on the island of Molokai, and I said, have you ever heard of this Israel something something or other? And he said, oh yeah, Cousin Iz. So my sister-in-law was distantly related to him, but through both of her parents, they were cousins. So that makes me distantly related to him through marriage, I guess, by way of my sister-in-law, Joyce. But his music's just amazing. If you like that song, you can also Google Iz, I-Z, on the internet, and you'll find all kinds of sites and information about him and his music. So we're going to close, as we always do, with the song that we started with. I want to say thanks again before we leave to everybody who's helped out. We got Jane on the Elmo, Jerry on the camera, and Kevin on sound here at room 204 at Elkins Middle School. We thank Dee Roth for the use of her room, and Richie Carr for the use of the building, and Randolph County Schools and Dr. Jim Ferris for the use of the facility altogether. So I think I got everybody up on the board, didn't I? Yes. So we'll close with the same one we opened with, Imagine. And I want you to, hope you will imagine yourself as a better and better reader every day. You know, just practice several times a day, like I mentioned before, during TV commercials, mute the sound and practice your lists and your units and your songs. So here we go again. Imagine there is no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of men. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one. Just imagine. Happy reading.